Greetings. Today, 3 signs your twin flame is thinking about you. Yes, that's a real thing. It absolutely is. How would I know my twin flame is thinking of me? And I mean, let's face it, what you really want to know is, are they going to come be with me? Are they going to stop running? And the odds are, if they're thinking about you, it's probably going to happen pretty soon. You're probably going to hear from them, guys. And I'll even give you some tips and tricks on how you could actually make your twin flame start thinking about you. Yes, you could actually cause that to happen. And here's what's so interesting about these signs. Well, tell you what, let me list the signs and then we'll get into it. Because what I want to do is share with you how you can tell these are the real signs, right? I want to show you that because there's a lot of videos on YouTube about here's all the signs, and you're like, I don't know if any of this stuff is true. Well, I got one better. I'm going to tell you how you can tell these are the real signs, okay? So let me list the signs off, and then we'll talk about that. All right, so sign number 1, you haven't given them a thought in ages. So you're not thinking about them. You're not really focused on them. And all of a sudden, that's when they're thinking about you. Interesting. How does that work? Well, we're going to talk about that. Okay, sign number 2, knowing, like intuition. Okay, you know they're thinking about you. And I'm going to describe exactly what that is. Like, because some people, they ask, like if I was having intuition, how would I know I was having intuition if I was? Like, what is that? What is this intuition that you speak of, right? So we'll talk about that. Okay, sign number 3, there's a greater spiritual awakening taking place within you. Right? You are having some crazy experiences, and there is a greater awareness, a greater consciousness, and there may be some interesting things happening around you also. Some interesting synchronicities and repeating number patterns and other things going on inside and outside of you. So those are the 3 signs. Now, why are those the 3 signs? Well, guys, what does everybody on the internet say about twin flames? And I mean, everybody on the internet says about twin flames. Well, what everybody agrees on is that twin flames are the same soul. Everybody says it, no matter who they are. Whether or not it's somebody who might not be giving you good advice, or if they are giving you good advice, everybody's going to say it. Even if it's a person you're watching, because I get this sometimes from my coaching students and from the public, you know, yeah, Kurt, I've seen some people talking about twin flames, and I don't think that they are on a twin flame journey, actually. You know, like, you're like, is this person really a twin flame? And it's fine, you know, we're not trying to put anybody down or anything like that, but it's a thing. You know, maybe they're just confused. Maybe they just met a soulmate or something. But even that person knows that twin flames are the same soul. So that's widely accepted. And that's always been what twin flames is, guys. You are the same soul. Okay, interesting side note. Actually, it's not a side note. I think this will bring clarity to you. Everybody agrees on the description of twin flames, what a twin flame is, but then everybody's got a different prescription, right? So what to do about it. Here's what to do about it. Here's my prescription for you. Same description, everybody agrees, but then everybody's got a different prescription. How can this be? If we all are in agreement about what a twin flame is, what's the problem? Like, why, if we're all clear, like, if we all agree that a car takes gasoline and maybe sometimes diesel, right? But most cars take gasoline. Why would you put water in it? Like, why are you telling me to do that? Everybody knows cars take gas. Everybody knows how a car works. Everybody knows what a car is. Why are you telling me? You know what I mean? So I just think that's interesting. And here's the thing, guys. These 3 signs that I'm telling you are all about your soul. And what I'm not going to tell you to do is a bunch of psychological mind stuff, like healing and clearing your chakras and fixing your inner childhood wounds and balancing your inner feminine and masculine and clearing your karma and doing the violet flame chant and doing the mirror exercise and all this other gobbledygook, which actually on its own might not be bad stuff to do. That's perfectly fine to do those things. That's just not what this journey is, guys. Okay? So remember, here's how you can tell. Here's how you can tell that these are the signs, right? You are body, mind, soul. This is really important. I'm not just bragging. I'm not just saying I'm right. No. It's not about me. It's about the information. It's about this message. I want to bring clarity to you today, okay? So this is basic spiritualism. Real basic stuff. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, guys. Body, mind, soul. Well, what is that? How do those things work? We need to talk about that. And if you understand what the soul is, remember your twin flame is your soul, and you understand what the mind is, that's when we get clarity. That's when you're going to have that aha moment, okay? And then the signs will make sense to you, why those are the signs. And like I said, you can actually get the signs to start happening. It's true. Another thing that you hear from the internet about twin flames is there's something that I can be doing to get my twin flame to talk to me, and that is true. But it's not all the mind stuff that people give you to do. So the body, we're pretty clear about what that is, right? So the mind, thoughts, emotions, and metaphysical energy, chakras, right? It's mental, emotional, and metaphysical. That's the mind. And the soul is consciousness, okay? The mind also, it works on a system of duality, yin, yang, duality, yin, yang, duality, right? Alpha, omega, past, future, good, bad. I like it, I don't like it. It's here, it's there. It's right, it's wrong, right? Positive, negative, duality. That's how the mind functions. And it's also made up of thoughts, emotions, chakras, and metaphysical energy. The soul is consciousness, and the soul is who you are. If I was to ask you, who are you beyond the body and the mind? You're going to go, I'm a soul. Right, but what is that? There's thoughts and feelings going on. You notice thoughts and feelings. Have you ever said to yourself, why am I thinking this? Or why do I feel this way? You notice that there's thinking and emotions going on, right? Right. Who's asking? What is consciousness? How is it that there is a you who is able to be aware of thinking and emotion? There is awareness of thinking and emotion. What is that? Think about it. No pun intended. What is consciousness? What is awareness? And again, what I'm teaching you is basic spiritualism. And this is what you're going to get from all of the well-known enlightened spiritual masters. What I'm describing right now. They're going to go, yeah, that's how that works. And I mean the big names like Eckhart Tolle and, Ram Dass and Buddha and Paramahansa Yogananda and Michael Singer and those kind of people, right? The big names, right? Everybody knows. So meanwhile, there's a bunch of people on the internet telling you to do a bunch of mind stuff, healing and fixing your inner childhood wounds and all this kind of stuff. And that's all good stuff, but that's psychology. Well, your twin flame is your soul. Why do I need to do a bunch of mind stuff? And by the way, you know what Eckhart Tolle is going to tell you? He's just going to tell you, you are not your mind. And as a matter of fact, that's the name of the first chapter of his very popular book, The Power of Now. The first chapter is called You Are Not Your Mind. That's the basics of spiritualism. This teaching is so well known, they put it on a bumper sticker, right? It's all about thinking. It's all about remembering that you are not a thinker. And thinking is fine. But that's not what you are beyond the mind. Remember, I asked you, who are you beyond the body and beyond the mind? And you're going to go, I'm a soul, right? So is the soul thinking? No, the mind is thinking, and that's fine. The mind is going to do that. But you are the awareness of thought. Another very popular teacher of traditional, genuine spiritualism, not the pop culture stuff on the internet, not the, kind of new agey healing and stuff like that, which is psychology. They just pasted the label spiritual over it. And I'm not trying to, put anybody down or anything. It's just that they're just confused, and that's what they're doing. They're calling psychology spiritualism. That is what they're doing. And these are usually good people. These are good enough people, but they're just confused, guys. And that's okay. But, they're going to confuse you too. No, spiritualism is the experience of remembering that you are consciousness. Now, another very popular spiritual teacher, right, of genuine spiritualism, his name is Rupert Spira. One of my favorite quotes ever. He said, "Can a thought get angry? Can a thought listen to this conversation? No. Right. Thought is the object of consciousness. Remembering that you are a soul is remembering the experience of consciousness. You don't think your way there. Okay? Healing does not cause self-actualization. Right? Remembering that you are consciousness, experiencing consciousness, self-actualization. Healing does not cause that. Now, self-actualization may cause healing. That is true. And by the way, even a psychologist in today's world, they're often going to tell people to do mindfulness meditation because they know it's effective. Isn't that something? Okay, so that's the basics of spiritualism. You're a soul, guys, and the soul is consciousness. That's your twin flame. And you don't think your way there. You just experience yourself as the awareness of thinking. Interesting. Okay. Now that we are clear about what this really is and how you can tell these are the signs, let's go over the signs, and they'll make so much sense to you now. So you haven't given them a thought in a long time, right? Because you're not focused on them. You're not in the obsessive thinking anymore. You're in here. You're experiencing yourself as consciousness. And when you do that, you have detached. There's another thing we hear in the twin flame community, right? When you transcend the thinker, the mind, you detach. And so all of the obsessive thinking slows down, the desperation, and the need to do something about the person. That's the mind. The mind is duality, so it's externalized. I'm here and you're over there. And that's called separation consciousness also, by the way. That's another term for it. That's really where that word came from. Separation, detaching, and then union comes from unity consciousness, where you experience yourself as one with all. Okay? And so that's the third sign, which is the general spiritual awakening. So we'll come back to that in a second. But the second sign is intuition, which, technically that's unity consciousness too. That's, again, where the word union really came from. And I've even made a video about this if you're interested to learn more about that, like why we are using those words in the so-called twin flame community. It's down below. I'm going to link it down below for you in the description box, a link to that video about separation consciousness, unity consciousness, and detaching. Why we are using those words, separation, union, and detaching, in the so-called twin flame community. Go check it out. Go watch that video, guys. The true twin flame teachings are right under your nose, dude. They're right under your nose. Everybody on the internet is just playing a big game of telephone. And this is what I do. This is the kind of thing that I've done. And this is kind of how I ended up here as the world's #1 twin flame coach. I've personally coached over 7,000 twin flame coaching students, guys. through my program. And the fact I think that it's affordable too. My paid coaching helps. And I've also got a bunch of free stuff on my YouTube channel. If you'd like to go check it out, if you're new here and you kind of want to see what I'm all about, just go check it out. It's there's a playlist on this YouTube channel. It's all free. Go check it out right now. The playlist is called The True Twin Flame Teachings. Go check that playlist out. And you're going to have a lot of aha moments, guys. You will. And, you know, it was the words. That was kind of the first thing that tipped me off. There's also this polarization between you and your twin flame, this is why they're running, because you're so focused on them. Remember, this is how the universe works, guys. This is the basic laws of the universe. Duality is how the universe functions. That's the yin and yang. And science even has a principle for it. So there's this mental polarization between you and your twin flame. That's why they run. So when you're so focused on them, it's because you're coming from that separation consciousness of mind, right? You believe you are separate from them. And so and why you believe that is because you believe you are the mind. You think that you are the thinker. Remember the name of the chapter, of the first chapter of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, is called You Are Not Your Mind. But if you believe you are your mind, you're going to be really focused on this person, thinking you need to do something about them. They call that separation consciousness. Okay? You're operating from separation. I got to do something about them. And that's what causes this push-pull between you and your twin flame, okay? Twin flames is not magic, guys. This is a real thing, and there is a way to explain it. All this is basically reincarnation. You are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul. Okay? That's all this is, right? So twin flames proves actually reincarnation. That's what's cool about this is real, guys. There is a way to explain what this is. Isn't that cool? You're not crazy, right? You're not crazy. Yes, this is real. Yes. And there is a way to explain it. And again, I can point to these words that we're using. Somebody already figured this out, guys. Separation, union, and detaching. I don't know who it was. My theory is that whoever it was, they figured it out. And this was before the internet, like 1970s or something. Somebody figured this out. There's a reason that those ancient Zen teachings of separation and union made their way into the twin flame teachings, okay? But those teachings originally came from just plain old transcendentalism, okay? But somebody took that and applied it to the twin flame experience, and correctly so. But everybody on the internet, you're just misusing the words, right? It's like monkey see, monkey do. It's a game of telephone. So everybody thinks that those words are talking about like the situations or relationship status with your twin flame. And then like, what's up with detaching? What does that mean, right? But that's not what those words are. They're states of consciousness. Well, anyway, this is your spiritual awakening, guys. That's why you have this knowing. And it feels like deja vu, kinda. So remember earlier I said, yeah, I'm going to tell you how to know you're experiencing the knowing, okay? And it feels like deja vu. Deja vu is this weird, eerie knowing, like, I know I've done this before, but how do I know that? Right. So remember, body, mind, soul. It is the mind that is asking, how do I know that? It's not actually you. You are the intuition. You are the knowing or the deja vu. That's your higher self. That's the true self. Again, who are you beyond the mind? And it's this spiritual information. It's this knowing. It's not mental. It's not coming from the mind at all. That's why the mind is questioning it, right? So that's information, guys. You have this knowing that they're thinking about you, your twin flame, or they're going to come back, or that we are twin flames, right? That's spiritual, guys. That's coming from the soul. That's coming from the higher self. And it's on a higher plane. P-L-A-N-E, plane, right? That's the soul. And the third sign, that's really easy to understand. Obviously, you're having a spiritual awakening. That's what's happening. And you could be seeing all kinds of repeating number patterns everywhere, 1111, 444, 333, whatever. More 1111, lots of 1111. That's a big one. 144 perhaps. You could be experiencing like old people and situations falling away from your life. You could be having like, I don't know, you lose your job or you get transferred to another department, or maybe not. I don't know, maybe old friendships are falling away. Just something changing in your 3D situation. That doesn't have to be the case, but that happens quite a bit. The numbers, that always happens. That happens to everybody. But you might notice old things falling away. And you've just got this sense that your life is about to change in ways that you can't explain. You have this knowing. So here we go again with more intuition. That's going to be a thing, guys. That's going to be big, 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 big. And again, you're not focused on the person, really. You're just kind of like in here all the time. And you might even notice like all of these amazing synchronistic events unfolding all the time, just in your life in general. It doesn't even have to be about your twin flame. And you're drawn to spiritual topics suddenly. You want to meditate and do stuff like that. And I'm going to give you some resources. Here's things that you can do to kind of get the ball rolling. Read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Read Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And watch the Samadhi movie. Watch it tonight, guys. S-A-M-A-D-H-I. S-A-M-A-D-H-I. Samadhi. It's on YouTube. It's free. There's 3 parts. Watch part 1 first. Don't skip around or else the rest of them won't make sense to you. Right? Watch that movie. It's only an hour long. You're going to watch it and you're going to go, I get it. I don't know why I get it, but I get it. Right? It's going to be like that. You can't explain it mentally, conceptually. It's a knowing. And finally, watch my free Twin Flame playlist, The True Twin Flame Teachings. Guys, you are your twin flame. You absolutely can do something about this. You have the power. Guys, have a good rest of your week. I'll see you next time.